Hello guys, thanks for tuning in. I want to know how many of you guys are planning a Viking cruise right now. Because if you're listening to this, I'm sure you either are on the fence, you have one booked, or you are just coming to this channel because you're starting to think about it. So I'd love to know in the comments who has a trip planned and who's on the fence thinking about going on a Viking cruise. I'm just curious. Thanks to a lot of the new subscribers. Just wanted to send you guys a shout out. If you subscribed in the last 30 days, I just want to say thank you for subscribing to the channel, and let me know what you guys want to hear about. I always have like a hair that I'm fixing. Have y'all noticed that? I can't even see. Okay. This is driving me nuts. All right. So today I wanted to give you guys an insider tip because that's what we do on this channel, because there's a lot of content that's out there. But I just like to give you guys nuances and little small details because let's be honest, at least on the Viking cruises, they're just too expensive to miss something. Like, you don't want to come back from a cruise and say, oh, I had no idea, fill in the blank. So this video is just a couple of things that I stumbled on in my different travel experiences. And some of them are small and some of them that I really feel like I created these. But they're just different things to get the most out of your Viking cruise. So if you haven't already, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, and that way you can get content. And especially if you're planning a cruise right now, it's really good to get content and hear about what you might not want to miss out on. So I have some really interesting videos coming up, especially about travel insurance. I have an update on travel insurance that I'm going to post, but this is all about extra little things. And I have just a handful that I want to share with you on things that they really don't tell you, which we're not surprised. There's a lot of things they don't tell you about Viking cruises. But this is how to dial up and have a few secret moments that you may want to be aware of on your cruise. So let's get started. The very first thing is, many of you guys are probably waiting with bated breath for your reservation dates to come available for you to make your dinner reservations. And if you are one of those people, right, then it's like, oh my goodness, I am waiting for the portal, cannot wait for the dinner reservations. So here is the very first thing I want to share. It is really important to know that Chef's Table menu changes every 3 days. 3 days. So just want you guys to know that. So if you are making a reservation, you will realize there are really only two restaurants to make reservations at. So you may go, oh my goodness, I've been waiting for this portal to open. I need to like sit down. I have like a, notepad. It's really not that complicated because there's only two restaurants, at least on Oceans, that you can make reservations at. However, right when you think, well, that was easy, the hack that I want to share with you guys is make another reservation at the Chef's Table, because their menu does change every 3 days. So you want to just make sure you make a note of that. And that's really good to know, because you may think, oh, it's going to be the same menu, so there's no need to go multiple times. I think it changes midweek, so probably around Wednesday. So depending on when you get your first reservation, you might want to like double check and make sure. If they're like back to back, then you may have the same menu. But if you put a day between it, you'll get a completely different menu. So that is tip 1. The other thing that they don't tell you that you really would want to you have to actually ask about this, is usually there is a lobster night, and it's not advertised. So ask guest services when you get on board, what night is the lobster night? And there is also usually a scallop night, and those are two different nights. So those are not happening in the restaurant. Those are happening at, I'm sorry, those are not happening at one of the reservation required restaurants. It's going to be at the main restaurant where you have, you know, breakfast and everything that's open seating. So my recommendation is to ask guest services when you first board, and you'll be one of the only people, or one of the many people who subscribe to this channel, who will know to ask. And once you find out, once you find out, then you might be able to like move your reservations around so that you can expand your dining experiences. So lobster night, scallop night, rotating menu every 3 days, few things that you should know. Now, here is a very interesting thing as well. Of course, there's great eating options, of course, off of the boat. But let's just say you're a person that is either married to, or you might be that person that says, we got to get back to the boat for dinner. We already paid for it. Or we just want to get back to the boat. We don't like to eat and, you know, try new things. So let's just be honest. You know that there are people like that. But no matter which one you are, because we're not here to judge, we're just here to give you information. You can also ask guest services about packing or creating a box lunch for you to take with you on your excursions. Yeah, that's why you are on this channel, so you can get that good insight. It is a budget stretcher. It's something you're familiar with. And honestly, there are just moments when you really need just a little something to eat when you're on the excursion. So if you're going on a full day excursion, that's going to involve being on a bus or a train or doing a lot of walking, just ask guest services, hey, is this something that you guys can do? And they will prepare something, lunch, light lunch or salad, an apple, fruit, whatever, so you can just take it with you in your backpack. So that is a tip that I just want to share with you guys as well. A couple of other things that I just thought would be great for you to know about is that to maximize on your experience, there's not a lot of television channels or movies in the room on the Viking cruise. And I'm not really a big television person, but even just for your channel flip, you know, that wind down where you're just scrolling through, there is something about the lack of channels that makes you want it. So I just wanted to show you guys. We always have this in our bag because we travel a lot, so we just don't even unpack it. This is the Google Chromecast, but you can also use a Fire Stick or whatever your preference is. But I highly suggest that you take something like this with you so that you can either cast Netflix from your phone to your television, or obviously with your Fire Stick, you'll be able to just pick back up on your favorite series, whatever you're watching. And it's a nice way to create a staycation in your room. Because if you're like me, yes, of course I like to be on an amazing vacation, but one of the things I really enjoy is doing a little something that I would do at home, but I get a chance to look out at the ocean doing it. So that wind down time in the room is amazing. And then if you don't already know, the 24-hour room service makes that a very little nice moment. The other thing that I wanted to share, and I probably should link some of this stuff, but this is not, I'm not paid for this. So I am sharing you guys. This is amazing. It is a fan, goes around the neck. Amazing tool to have for excursions. I just want to tell you that this is such a good thing to have. And I do think it actually enhances your cruise experience to have something like this. you can have it in your backpack also for your excursions. Okay, my last thing I'd like to share, and I know I'm talking fast because I am getting ready to do a video on my Prague preview, because I'll go to Prague in a few weeks and I can't wait to tell you guys and take you guys through that entire trip. And so that's coming up soon, and I'm so excited about talking about it. So the last tip to really enhance your already amazing Viking cruise is that you have essentially a person that is almost standing in the hallway 24/7, who is able, basically like a porter, way more than housekeeping, that is available to help you with anything that you need in your room. So you may wonder, well, what else can I ask them to do? What can I ask for? So I just wanted to give you guys a few additional tips on how you can maximize on your experience by asking your steward or stewardess for some additional things. Did you know that you can ask for them to customize the drinks that are in your mini fridge? If you have certain types of drinks or juices or sodas that you'd like, they will come in and replace the things that you have in your room with the things that you like. If you have a pillow preference, if you really like to sleep with 3 pillows or a heavier blanket or anything that you need that you didn't bring, they will absolutely bring those things for you. There are little things that you can ask the steward and stewardess to do, and I think it's just great to have that kind of treatment. But don't just look at them as housekeeping that just comes to, clean up when you leave. But you can even say, I'd love to have, some fresh juice at 10 o'clock every day when I arrive back, or anything that you really would love to just add some pampering. So here are some tips, just inside things that can enhance your already amazing trip. And if you haven't subscribed, I hope you will, so that you can stay along for the journey. And again, I love first, last, and only experiences. And so more about those tips here. Thanks for tuning in.